These Kennedy Kits toolboxes seem to be the go-to for machinists, at least the ones that I've seen on YouTube. I like them for really one major reason, and it's the shallowness of the drawers, especially the ones in the upper cabinet. They're great for storing a lot of small tooling that would otherwise get lost in a deeper drawer of your standard tool chest. One thing I will never understand is why new these things can be so expensive. This two-piece set, you can still buy it today from Kennedy, brand new, but it's $1,300 for these two pieces. And this one, to be honest, isn't made any better than the cheap ones you can get at the local freight store. I just don't get it. But if you're patient, you keep your eye out, you can find a great deal in the used market or at auction. I found these on the local Craigslist for a really great price. These ones certainly show their age and that they weren't really taken care of all that well. To start, I took off all the drawers. I wanted to clean up all of the guides and put some new grease on them and then give everything a good cleaning inside and out. These drawers come out easy enough. The guides are captured on both the drawer and the main body with a couple of spring clips, and it's just a matter of popping them out. There were a couple missing, but they were easily sourced right from Kennedy, and you can even find them on eBay. I used some hot water and simple green in a bucket with a sponge to clean off the drawer guides. Let them soak for a little bit, and then use the sponge to wipe out any of the extra junk that was in the guide itself. A couple of the guides had some small dings in them from all of the abuse, but that was easy enough to straighten those out with a small hammer. I used my small shop vac to go ahead and clean out the rest of the junk that was left inside the main body, and then use that same sponge from the bucket to wipe the whole thing down inside and out. I'd like to take a few seconds to thank all of the new subscribers to the channel and for those that have been subscribing for a bit. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would hope you'd consider smashing that subscribe button. And please give the video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel and the YouTube algorithm. And leave me a comment and give me your thoughts on these Kennedy toolboxes. The front cover was in rough shape. The paint had chipped in a couple of places, likely because it was bent in those spots. I suspect this happened when a previous user had tried to pry open the cover because it was jammed shut. More on that in a minute. A few whacks with a rubber mallet solved that problem. I'm not going to try bothering to fix any of the paint on this. I mean, more than likely it's going to get beat up again at some point. Maybe some point in the past someone must have dropped this thing because the bottom of the cabinet had a nice big frown in it. That center piece was pushed up, and that's likely what jammed the front cover, which created all the problems with it. A rubber mallet wasn't going to fix this, so I broke out a mini sledge and a block of wood, a few well-placed whacks, straightened it out. Before I put the drawers back in, I want to try and vacuum out as much of the remaining debris left in them as possible. You know, that's the other thing I really like about these Kennedy toolboxes is these felt line drawers. I don't know. There's just something about it. You don't have to worry about scratching up an expensive tool when you put it away. I started the reassembly of the drawers by partially installing the spring clips into the guides. Then I used an acid brush to apply some all-purpose grease to the slides before putting them on the tracks inside the tool cabinet. Once the clips were in and I slide the guide onto the main body, I can then reach in and pop that spring clip the rest of the way in, and that captures the slide from being able to be pulled all the way out. In installing the drawers is the last step. Same thing here. I slide the drawer onto the guides and then pop the spring clip in, and then it captures the drawer onto the guide itself, keeping it from being able to be pulled all the way out. And that's it for the main cabinet here. All of the drawers operate as they're supposed to. It's clean, and the front cover fits on the way it was designed. So, in the bonuses, I have a key for the lock, and the lock works. As I said earlier, the bottom cabinet was in rougher shape. It's got quite a bit of surface rust, and it looks like someone tried to paint it at some point. One of the drawer pulls is broken, and there are stickers all over it. I think the best course of action here is to strip it and repaint it. Took the drawers out and then removed the remaining drawer pulls and the lock before I used a little bit of aircraft paint stripper on all of the exposed surfaces. After the stripper did as much as it was going to do, I gave it a once over with a wire cup on an angled die grinder, and then used a little sandpaper on a random orbital sander. And then fixed a few dings and straightened out the drawer divider. And then to clean up any remaining surface rust, I applied a quick coat of rust reformer in a few spots, and then followed up with a coat of primer and a few coats of a textured brown spray paint. It's not going to match the original Kennedy paint, but you can get that from Kennedy, but it's $40 for a single spray can. But I really don't care if the color matches. In this case, close enough is close enough. The replacement drawer pulls aren't exactly like the originals. Although they are both Kennedy, this older box had a different way to mount the pulls. I had to make a larger but square hole in the drawer front for the new ones to go in correctly. Since I'm all out of square drill bits, I used a Dremel with a carbide burr on the end of it to enlarge the hole and give it a squarish appearance. The last thing I wanted to do was add some felt to the bottom drawer. I don't believe these normally came felt lined, but I picked some up off the internet, and the color wasn't even close to what it looked like in the browser, and it's nowhere near the original color of the other drawers. But it doesn't really bother me. It's just I like having that felt in there. Once it's cut to size, I just peeled off the paper backing and did my best to press it in place without any wrinkles. I failed pretty miserably on that last detail. And that's it. Not a lot of time put into this, but I now have 2 fully working Machinist toolboxes to add to the shop. Kennedy's nonetheless, for a lot less than $100 all in. And I guess you can't really go wrong with that. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed making it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.